So it sounds like at this point everyone is ready to begin the weekly surveys and start collecting these information on the classes. So what I wanted to do was put together a really quick tutorial on how to get into SurveyMonkey, how to create our own exams or our own surveys from a template that's already been created, and then how to collect that information and then take a look at what the students actually have to say. So the first thing we do is we simply go in and we log into SurveyMonkey at www.surveymonkey.com. We click on that and that'll take us over to the SurveyMonkey site. We just come up here to the top, we click sign in. And this will preload for us because I've got a lot of bookmarks saved. But our password, our username is CNCampus, CNC with capital CNC, campus with no spaces. The password here is actually the number 2014 2014 and then the word opening with no capital O because the 2014 opening of CNCampus. So 2014 OPENING. We hit enter. And that should take us right into the home page of SurveyMonkey. Now, there's a lot that we can do with this, but for the sake of time and getting right into what we want to do here, once we're here, we're going to go over here to the upper right-hand corner where it says My Surveys. We click on that, and that takes us to a catalog of all the surveys we've done so far. All we want to do is we want to create a survey, but we actually are going to copy an existing survey. I've already created a template for us so we don't have to go through all the steps of making our own. So we simply copy the existing survey, and from there, we're going to click on the very first one, 1CN Student Course Reaction and Evaluation. That's the template that I created for this particular, for us, basically. From there, though, this is where it gets fun, because now we can title, we give the class a name. And I think the easiest thing we can do is simply name it whatever it's going to be, Conductor, what the number of the class is, and this is just a preload from me, what number course it is, the date that we're putting that out, and then who the instructor was. I like to do that because that way we have what date each and every survey went out, so what week we were actually checking out. And the second part here, I like to actually just copy this because in the nickname, that's something that we're the only ones who'll see that. That just shows up on our side of SurveyMonkey. The students won't see that, but most of the time I just name it the same thing. So I just cut and paste that in. And we just name it the same thing. Once we've got that, we go over here to where it says continue. We click right there. And that is going to take us right into our survey. It's already done. Everything else is ready to go. So these are the questions that I sent to you guys earlier, just to make sure that everyone was comfortable with it. We took out the date from Denny's side because the date will already be up on top. And we changed this to make sure it said field intensive training. So of course, I'll change this out too on the template. I'll change this to say field intensive training as well by the time you guys see this. So from there, all we have to do, now we just collect the responses because we just need to send this out to the students. So we come over here to where it says collect responses. That page opens up and there's a few options here. This one looks the easiest. We just click there and it emails out to whoever we want it to do. But the problem with that is that the email doesn't come from us. It comes from SurveyMonkey, which probably is going to end up in a junk file, or the student will just delete it, not realizing that it's coming from us. So what we do is we just go here to the web link collector right here. We click on that, and that generates our own custom link to this particular survey. So another option, though, and you can see the pop-up shows up right there, we can actually customize this, where we can come in and customize the name of the title. You're absolutely welcome to do that, whatever you want to name the class, whether it's just be the name and the title or whatever it is we want to do. Or you can just leave that link, but we just hit customize, we fill in the box there. We can't use any spaces because as soon as we type a space in there, see the box goes red, so whatever you're going to type, it can't have any spaces. But you can name it whatever you want it to be. But this is another important one. Right here may be a big deal. Responses per computer, we want to click that and we want to do multiple responses per computer. The reason for that is maybe some of these guys are actually doing this at the hotel in like the business center or something, and we want to make sure that they can do, each one of them can log in and do their own survey. Otherwise it would recognize the computer and wouldn't let anybody else do that. So we just come down here, we allow the multiple responses, and we call it good. Once we've got that, or whatever name you've decided on, we just go in here, we copy that link, and then we simply paste that into the email that we are sending out to the students, which could come from you or the instructor or whomever, just simply requesting that they provide us their feedback and their thoughts on the week that they've just completed. We paste that onto the link, and then when they click on that link, just as an example, that link will take them directly to our survey right there. So it's pretty slick. It's very, very, very easy to do. Literally just a couple of minutes of work, and once you get comfortable with it, it's less than 2 minutes to do any one of them. But now this is where it gets kind of interesting for us. Now we want to go in there and we want to see what people are saying. So we wait a couple of days, and then we go in to see what people are saying about the class. So we log back into SurveyMonkey just like we did before. It brings us to this page. And now what I want to do, I've got a few options, but the easiest is go to where it says My Surveys right here. I click on My Surveys, and that gives me a catalog of all the surveys that are currently out and everything that we've got going on. So I just go here to the class that we just created here, because this is the one we just did. And you see now, if you come out to the side here, under Analyze, we've got a pie chart sitting here. So we can actually analyze our information and get the information right here. Another way is we can actually open this up, and I'll just click on that name. It gets us back in, and we can come over here to this tab that says Analyze the Results. Either way, we're going to get to the same place. So we click on Analyze, or the pie chart on the previous page, and it opens up to the results of that survey. Now, we don't have any responses in ours yet. So what we're going to do is let's take a look at one that does have some responses so we can see what we're talking about. We'll just go to this one, and you see how many responses we've got. This one has 14. So we'll just click on this one. This is a course reaction from an operations perspectives class, and that was Mark taught that one a few months ago. So we just go over here to the pie chart. We click on that, and our Analyze page shows up. And this is the part where every one of us is always wanting to jump in there. So now we can see the first and last names of who all's jumped in, who all's responded, the genders, their email addresses, when they qualified, what location are they working at, which sometimes can be real interesting. But once we get down here into the meat of this is where it starts getting interesting. And again, we'll change these questions out here. But we start rolling through, and now we're getting some data here. And if we want to know what those colors actually mean, well, at the bottom of each graph, it tells you what the colors mean. So in this case, we want grays and yellows. Blues and greens aren't going to be real good. So we come in here to the not applicable, which that's what a lot of this is. But we see a lot of grays and a lot of yellows here, and that's good. We're looking for that. Here we've got a green, whatever that has to do. So we'll come back and talk about that. But just for the right brain who really likes the colors, I can see very, very quickly that this class, in a nutshell, was very, very well received. They did a real good job with this particular delivery. If I want to see those numbers more like in a spreadsheet form, well, that's what the next table is just the spreadsheet version. It gives me the same information, but now it gives it to me numerically rather than graphically, like we saw above. And as we keep scrolling down, here's what things are kind of neat. It's hard to see it, but right here, you see where it has comments in blue? That, to me, is the most interesting part of any of these surveys, because that's where the students took the time to actually feed us some information from themselves. Not just answering our question, but providing some extra feedback. So we click on that, and now we can see exactly what we've got. Of course, it was a very high quality. I'd speed it up a little bit. Well done. I really like how we were able to be involved. And if we want to see how, if we see one that was really interesting, like for example, I'd speed it up a little bit. All right, I wonder who said that. We click on the view the respondent's answer, and that will take us directly to that person's survey. So now we know, okay, they decided to remain anonymous on that, but now we can see all of their answers individually as to what they had to say. They enjoyed the class, they just wanted to speed it up a little bit. And so here we can really get a very, very good feel for what kind of information, what kind of stuff was really working for us. Like here, the assignments were good, exam results were good. Again, grays and yellows were really good in this one. PowerPoints were fairly weak, or at least one person wasn't real impressed with them. Videos, we're starting to see a little more of this. They weren't impressed with the videos. Animations, they really enjoyed. And we can just scroll all the way down through here. You know, what they think of Mark? Well, they really liked Mark. They really liked Mark with what he was able to deliver for them. But again, this is one of my most powerful tools that I've used for years and years and years. Always gives up some phenomenal information. And as long as the students know, and we emphasize to them that this can be anonymous, because I don't care so much where the information came from, so much as we should be caring about the integrity of the information. If they don't want to leave their names, that's fine, as long as they're honest about what they're giving us. And from there, we can just start playing and get in and look for anything in the world that we want to be looking for. So I'll let you guys explore this and play a little bit. Obviously, the farther in we get, now we can start getting a little more advanced. But that, in a nutshell, is how we do it and what we'll be able to get from this. And if you guys have any questions, just feel free to holler anytime. So thanks a lot.